Well, hey everybody, John Rentlin here, and this is my review of New Japan Pro Wrestling's New Japan Cup, the semifinals, and oh boy, were those great semifinal matches. One didn't go quite the way I expected, but still, I'm not going to complain. However, I'm going to give both matches a big old thumbs up. Big thank you to Jen for sending me that. I really do appreciate it. Pull above my head here somewhere. Grade it there. Leave in the comments who you think among the last two people will be to win. Who's going to win this cup? Probably going to be Okada. But anyway, let's get on with that. Really fun night overall. Nice little solid undercard. Kevin Kelly, Rocky Romero, Excalibur on commentary. Another great trio that New Japan has put together for their commentary team. Starting off with Michael Elgin, Colt Cabana, Yuya Uemura, Yota Tsuji versus Tenzan, Kojima, Nagata, and Nakanishi. And I mean, what do you think? What do you think's going to happen? Of course, the Young Lions are going to get beat up. They're going to get some shots in. There was a cool face-off with Colt and Nagata. That was pretty funny. Yuya and Nakanishi having a bit of a battle. Yuya did get beat up quite a bit. Yuya with that old 70s hairstyle and everything. I don't know. It's just really cool. It's like a flashback, yet the guy is really goddamn good in the ring, even for just, the little bit of experience he has. But he does get beat up a bit. Of course, you get Kojima chops. You get Elgin in. Yota and Nagata doing their little scrap. Yota really trying to prove himself against Blue Justice. But in the end, he taps out to the Nagata Lock 2, not Electric Boogaloo, and Nagata gets the victory for his team. So, okay, expected. One of the Young Lions is going to tap out. I think we could possibly see, before Nagata retires, we could see a full-fledged Yota versus Nagata feud. But that's at least a year or two away. And, provided he stays injury-free, and he basically has, Nagata could be just a perfect type to put over Yota to send him, skyrocketing. But we'll see. Anyway, we then have Shota and Ren Narita versus Shingo and Bushi. Good showing for the Young Lions. They certainly got in some good shots, but this was all about Shingo and Bushi hitting their moves. Again, Narita kicking out of the pump and bomber clothesline was something, I didn't expect, even though it's happened in a couple matches. I was like, maybe they'll put it over. Nope. They're giving Narita a little bit something. And Shota, no doubt, really shined in that match against Tanahashi in the first round of New Japan Cup. And in the end, though, no Shigami, I believe is what it's called. Big old, Shingo's got Narita on his back and then, just drops back and everything. So it's like, bit of a weird face buster. But in the end, Narita gets pinned for the 1, 2, 3. I believe that's what the name of it's called. If I said it wrong, I do apologize. I'm still trying to learn some of the names of these moves. We then get Makabe, Yano, and Toa Hanare, and those are 2/3 of the IWGP, or the Never Open Weight 6-man champions, and Toa Hanare, who did pretty well here against Minoru Suzuki and KES, and this was really about, look, the action's outside, Suzuki-gun jumping the bell, and we get barricade usage and chair usage, and Suzuki will damn sure make sure that everybody picks up their chairs and their trash, or otherwise, or else. He'll beat up some Young Lions. He'll do that anyway, but he'll beat up more if you don't pick up your trash. So, Suzuki, Makabe, in chairs and a whole bunch of stuff. Hanare got beat up, even though he got in some good shots, before that. We then get Hanare and Suzuki. Hanare taking every single shot that Suzuki throws at him. Credit to him, because that is something I certainly would never do. I mean, obviously, I'm not an athlete, but that guy, legit. And anybody that's willing to do that against Suzuki, tougher person than I could ever hope to be. We then get more Suzuki and Makabe. We get Yano in, some comedy, of course. What are you going to get? Hanare and Archer. But in the end, a blackout does pin Hanare for the 1, 2, 3, even though Hanare got close a couple times. And so Minoru Suzuki and KES get the victory, and Archer still wants that cage match with Rocky Romero. I don't know where they're going with this. I don't think it's going to be a cage match, but whatever. It was what it was. We then get Taguchi and Will Ospreay versus Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi, mostly about hyping up Taichi and Will Ospreay possibly facing off for the Never Open Weight Championship if Ospreay can win the winner-take-all match with Jeff Cobb for the Ring of Honor TV title at G1 Supercard, which I am certainly excited for. And we're about just over 2 weeks. No, we're actually 2 weeks away as of this day from that. So that's going to be very interesting. But yeah, Taguchi got beat up quite a bit. He did get in some good shots. Taguchi and Zack Sabre Jr. having a good scrap. And in the end, the heel hook, getting Taguchi to tap out, that was something else. I mean, it seems like such a, I'm not even gonna say basic, but just compared to what Sabre Jr. can do, it's like, oh, he wins with something fairly simple. And that was pretty nice. That was pretty cool. So he got the tap out victory, and then Taichi beats up Will Ospreay, and we have all this. So we're likely going to get that. If Ospreay does retain, I'm thinking Wrestling Dontaku is possibly when we could get it. We'll see. We're not going to get it on the finals, because we are already getting one other championship match. But it's certainly going to be interesting to see when we do get that match. And then we get Ibushi and Honma versus Naito and Evil. All about Ibushi and Naito having some, just having some really good, like just scrap and everything, just fighting, beating each other up. Some great exchanges. It's certainly going to be quite the showing. If that match happens at G1 Supercard, that would be very interesting. I would actually like to see that. Add that to the match, or add that to the card, and the crowd's really going to go nuts for both these guys. There were a couple of Keshis, including Kota Ibushi hating his own. So a Koteshi, I guess. I guess that's the best wordplay I can do at about 4 a.m. in the morning. Hanma did get beat up. There was, he did get some shots in later, but while the referee was distracted, Naito hit the Destino on Ibushi, and then you got the sharpshooter, Scorpion Deathlock, whatever you want to call it, that tapped out Hanma. So Evil's got another move in his arsenal. So, okay, that was fine. It served its purpose. And then Juice and Goto, Yoshihashi and Mikey Nichols versus Bullet Club, Jay White on the first match of, this tour. So he's obviously going to be on this card, and he's obviously going to be in the finals, and then we'll stand face to face with whoever wins. Again, probably Okada. But it's Jay White, Chase Owens, Bad Luck Fale, and Hikuleo. This match was decent. It was all about Chase and Juice hyping, for their U.S. title match that's going to take place, tomorrow, which should be fun. Yoshihashi gets in some spots, but does get beat up. There was outside action. Of course, Mikey Nichols getting in. Goto got in. Jado ended up taking a bump to the outside when Hikuleo bumped into him. And, excuse me, GTR pins Hikuleo. Hikuleo taking a lot of pins here. But, again, they're trying to ease him back into the whole thing. So, GTR pins Goto for the 1-2-3, and then Fale runs in after Chase is distracting Juice from the outside. So Juice, instead of realizing, hey, wait a second, that giant, man is not out there. Oh, there he is, and boom, and Chase is holding the IWGP US Championship. So could we possibly see a new US champion? I hope not. Nothing against Chase, but we don't need that title hot potato, because that would make six. That would make 6 champions in less than 2 years. If I recall right, I mean, Kenny Omega won the U.S. title back in July of 2017. You can't have 6 champions already. Just keep it on Juice for a bit. Have him lose it at the G1, at the beginning of the G1, like in Dallas or something like that. At least by then, you could have your 6th champion after about 2 years of the championship being established. But the 8-man tag still served its purpose. And then we get an El Phantasmo vignette. So, okay, he's going to show up in Bullet Club eventually. Maybe. Who knows? He'll probably show up sometime in 2020. It'll probably be tomorrow. But then we get the 2 semifinal matches. Okada versus Tomohiro Ishii. Chaos versus Chaos. And my goodness. Oh, I cannot put over. I got to do it again. I cannot put over how goddamn good this match was. And the following match. This was absolutely great. Ishii had beaten Okada in the past and had done really well for himself. Counter the Rainmaker with headbutts and stuff like that, and he did it here again. He was doing really well. There was neck focus by Okada. Yes, Ishii does have a neck, despite the fact that he seems so low to the ground. There's great momentum switches. I mean, I can't put over just how fantastic this match was. I'll go through a few of the spots, but really, I just encourage you guys to watch this. A nice powerbomb by Ishii, even though he almost seemed to drop Okada. Thankfully, he didn't. Headbutt into, a variation of the Rainmaker. Big old lariat by Ishii. Big avalanche brainbuster, my God, from the top. I was like, I actually thought that was it. I thought, oh shit, Ishii's going to pull the upset. Even though it shouldn't be much of an upset, because Ishii had a hell of a 2018, even beat Kenny Omega in the G1, which still shocked me. I don't know why, but it still did. Rainmaker. He kept stopping the Rainmaker. It was absolutely great. Great armbar by Ishii. And that was a really shocking move because it's just fluid and everything. And then after some, momentum, it's like, okay, you do this, you do this, you do this. Nope, we kept stopping everything. But in the end, Rainmaker did pin Tomohiro Ishii after a jumping tombstone spike pile driver for the 1-2-3. So Okada advances to the finals, which I can't really say I'm shocked with, but boy, if there was ever a time to pull a shock, it would have been Ishii here. But they pulled a shock later. So then we get a show respect with the Chaos members. That was really nice. Okada making sure that his fellow Chaos stablemate is okay. And that was really good stuff. I really encourage you guys to check this one out. Ishii versus Okada. From, if you need to look it up, by a date, night 11, but just look up the semifinals. It's really, really good. And then we get Tanahashi versus Sanada, in a match that I did not think was going to go the way it did. Now, there was the crowd was really, really cheering for Sanada. They were booing Tanahashi a bit. It wasn't that they hated Tanahashi, but they just love Sanada that much more. And honestly, I think people, maybe it's just this crowd. But I think people might be starting to sour a bit on Tanahashi. Maybe it's like, okay, we don't want to see him in the finals. We don't want to see him advance this far, even though we love him. And maybe I'm just reading too much into it. Maybe it was just this crowd in particular. Because I got nothing against Tanahashi. I certainly wouldn't be against him winning the title one more time, but after his last title reign ended after only 5 weeks, hell, make him and Okada tag team champions at some point this year if Okada doesn't win the title. But let's get back to that. So there was great wrestling start out as you would expect. There was knee focus by Tanahashi. Now later, Sanada would come back. My only issue is Sanada's knee gets focused on a lot, and then he does, he'll do jumps and normal dives and stuff like that. And yes, he'll sell the knee. But sometimes I almost think, I'm like, okay, adrenaline's a powerful drug, but at the same time, sometimes it kind of minimizes it. Forgive me if I don't remember your name in the comments, but somebody pointed out it was the review that I did with Suzuki and Sanada. And it was about, Sanada not necessarily selling the knee, and the way he did the skull end and did the moonsault and stuff like that. And I agree with you, and I do agree on that. And I'm not knocking Sanada, it's just the way it was told. But that was still a great match, by the way, and it's going in my top 10, which I will have up probably sometime on Tuesday. My 10 favorite New Japan Cup matches from this year. A little cheap plug right away. But there was a nice, back to this match, nice dragon screw by to Tanahashi. But then Tanahashi came back with his own dragon screw on the ropes. Cloverleaf by Tana. He almost got the victory. Sanada got to the ropes. Multiple skull ends. Tana even tried for his own skull end. Went for the Keiji Muto salt. I'm just going to say the moonsault because I always screw up the Great Muta's actual name. And I hate that because Great Muta is one of my favorite superstars, favorite wrestlers, superstars, whatever, of all time. But the second one misses because Tanahashi gets his knees up. And then we're close, near falls. And then Tanahashi tried for the same bridging pin that he got from that he did on Sabre Jr. after Sanada had his own bridging pin stopped. And then Sanada stopped it and then got the skull end on. I'm thinking, oh, Tana's going to get to the ropes. He's going to get the victory. And Tana tapped out. And I was just shocked. It's not that Tanahashi doesn't tap out. He has tapped out before, obviously. But this was just still, it was still a shocking end, a shocking skull end, if you will. That's a different move. But this was really, really good. It was nice. Sanada said, hey, I'm going to win. He's going to face Okada. That's a fresh matchup. That is something I would certainly like to see. I'm good with either guy winning. Though I will say that if Okada wins, then he's got to beat Jay White. If Sanada wins, he doesn't have to beat Jay White. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. I'm going to say B+ for sure. Undercard, okay. Undercard you didn't necessarily need to see, even though some of the stuff was fine. But those two New Japan Cup matches, my God. As close to an A as I can do. And we're going to see what the finals bring. So yes, I will be watching the finals live. I actually took the day off from work. Not today, but the next day. So anyway, do you agree, disagree with what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I am John Ritlin, and I will see you soon.